or something. Here's a bunch of.
I can't imagine that I purchased this.
No,
but
I assume it's something that.
But I haven't seen anybody else in the building ever have this.
I've never seen it before until right now. This is the first time I've seen you in it. I think it's sensational. It's a nice lightweight hoodie. I think it's everything that you'd want in a hoodie. I'll be very candid. I'm not crazy about the two-toneness.
I would have loved this to be orange, and it would be
if the hoodie's orange, or if the whole thing's brown, a nice white would have been exceptional.
Stop it. Let's not.
That would have been exceptional.
No, I don't know why this is a different color, to be perfectly honest. And you put it on here. I'm going to put it on real quick.
Yeah, put it on. Put it on for the people on the stream.
It's a real tight. It's a tight hood. It's a real.
You look like an executioner.
I was gonna say I look like something from Monty Python, The Quest for the Holy Grail, right? Like an executioner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, it's important that he who hands down the sentence carries out the.
I was gonna say you look like the man who was in charge of the untimely demise of Ned Stark. That's what it looks like. Still right there.
Gut wrenching. Season 1, episode 9. Sad.
Really was. Yeah, it was.
By the way, I like what you're doing here because you're being incredible. You're being incredibly kind, putting the focus here.
No, it's gorgeous. I love it.
It's great. I'm not gonna mince words. It is a wonderful thing. It's a full delight. However, you walked in here today, and I almost fell out of my swivel chair as you come in here in this blue houndstooth.
Yeah.
We know it's the Jim collection, Vineyard Vines, Jim Nance collection, living at Pebble Beach, and here you are in it, and it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking.
I knew when the
a merino wool, I'm sure.
It's a performance. Feel.
Oh God.
It's a performance. It's got a stretch to it.
You're just bathed in luxury.
Really is.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful.
Baco Nation coming up the stairs. Look at them. Looking resplendent.
Looking fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Hey, we have a full team out there. We got a team out there.
Yeah, I got to go take in a little bit of the practice tomorrow. The day it's open to the media, and it's just great to see everybody out there. And a newsflash, our quarterback can throw the ball very accurately and did so.
Oh, you don't say.
Out there. I do say. So great to see the guys out there. Great to see the team out there getting to put on the helmets and this phase in the OTAs, and then we'll get full reports tomorrow on the day that it's open to the media because we're able to dissect that a little bit more. You're going to be able to get some 7-on-7. You're going to be able to get some team periods as well. Obviously, no pads, nothing like that, but with the helmets on and going through it. And the two things, if I could say, that jumped out to me, number one, just the accuracy from our quarterback is stunning. And we'll talk to Donovan Peoples-Jones, who not only was on the receiving end of a few passes. We posted one where DPJ it was just a dime into the bucket, and he had a nice little toe drag swag on the sideline, but who was also on the trip to the Bahamas. Big news, though, guys. Big news for you and for you.
Yep.
So I was in the gym getting my hop workout in. Trying EDT today, which is something density training. I don't know what the E stands for, but so you have 10 minutes on the clock, and I had 185 pounds on the Romanian deadlift, and basically the goal is to get as many Romanian deadlifts as you can do.
What's a Romanian deadlift?
Romanian deadlift is where you got it kind of standing up with the bar above your knees, and then you try to keep your legs relatively straight, and you keep your back straight, and then you bend it all the way down so the bar gets down to about your shin, and then you stand it back up. So it's a hinge.
Okay.
A hinge. So 10 minutes, though, you try to get as many as you can get in that period of time, which it turns out to be an outrageous thing. So you do
Feels torturous.
You do it in sets.
Sounds totally awful.
I was getting in sets of 6 and 8, and then you do 5 big breaths. And then you just get it again. And
run it back.
Eventually, I can only get a set of 5, and then as it goes on. But I get to 101, which the Hoff was
feels
quite
like a lot.
pleased.
I like the idea
of
the Hoff as your Mandelbaum.
He is
like kind of training you and getting you set, and
he is.
I like the idea of that, of you checking in with him. And
I let him know the progress, and he said I was like even pushing him because he's like I was starting to get numbers that he was unfamiliar with. So he's like, I got to do better, and I'm like, I think you're doing just fine.
I think he's probably okay.
I think you're doing
he's probably all right.
And the Hoff even checked in with me today. He was perched in a tree, making some type of call to something. And he was.
Is it turkey season?
It's turkey season.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say.
That's what he's going for.
So he's going after my nemesis.
He's going after your nemesis. No doubt. Yeah. But anyway, what I was going to say.
Turkey hunting south of here. To my brother-in-law's.
That they go down there and do that?
Yep.
Do you have to have. Let's see. He's got a shotgun.
I'm listening to Hoff right here.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a good call.
Oh, my gosh. The Hoff. Fantastic.
It's like having the rangefinder on the golf course.
It really is.
That's a heck
What
of
a cheat code out of the Huff.
Now the video ends
Now,
without
Gibby, you
anything
said that
happening, but-
emphatically that was a great call. Would you know the difference between a good or great? Because I wouldn't.
Not at all. I said it confidently.
Pappy Van Gibby, of course he knows. He's a Renaissance man. So anyway, back to the good
I
news.
do know the hunting is good in the southern part of Ohio.
Yes,
I can
yes.
confirm
I saw Heartline snagged a couple
Oh,
at
he
his
did?
place in Central Ohio. Yeah, he crushed a couple of them. So that's anytime we can lower that population for me, the better.
Yep.
All right, so here's who we. So back to the good news because this is.
Do I need to write this down?
No, I just think you're gonna soak it in through your ears and be pleased.
Okay, go.
So I'm in the weight room.
Yep.
Getting after it. Fortunately, it turns out I was in between times. I wouldn't have had time to do it in my 10-minute insanity.
Okay.
So I was between sets, and who walks through? Our quarterback, Deshaun Watson.
Sure.
So I see Deshaun. Deshaun, how you doing?
Yeah.
Great.
He's
I
doing
bet
great.
you are. Seems like you had a great time down the Bahamas. Best trip ever, which is basically those are the 3 words been said by anybody that I've asked about.
Best
this
trip ever. yeah.
Correct.
Best
It's a
trip
great
ever.
place. Yeah.
Yeah. Best trip ever. I said, next time, how about we bring the radio guys along?
Now we're talking.
We can do some broadcasts from there. We won't
Yeah.
get in the way. I said, but it sounds like best time ever, something I'm interested in.
Yep.
And he said, deal. Next time, you guys are in.
Can you imagine us infiltrating the Ocean Club?
Yeah.
Just having our best time.
I've got an
Yeah.
outfit for that.
I got an outfit for
Banana Grande will bring the whole
Boy.
fruit stand to the Bahamas.
Let me
It's going
tell
to be
you
insane.
what's coming to the party.
A nice raspberry, perhaps.
Oh, that's
a cranberry.
gorgeous. Yeah, I'm in, man.
Yeah, so
I
that's
mean,
exciting. I
great.
mean,
That's great. I
can't
guess that
have a
means it's
bad day.
done.
We can't have a bad day from
No.
after we've heard that.
No. I wouldn't anticipate it.
And I
think
don't
we're
want to
having a
wish away
fantastic
the
time.
rest of 2022 at all. This isn't the Adam Sandler movie, but now we know we've got something
have a
really on the
carrot.
horizon for 2023.
Yeah, and
So, something for you to remember. That's right.
I should have wrote it down.
Oh, I'll remind you.
From how sublime it would be to go to the Bahamas to still a little. We're going back to Indy. Locked
Real
in.
sublime. I'm pumped about that.
I like everything except the drive.
Fine, but I like that drive and then the convenience of everything that's there and the times that we have together, Nada, Elmo's, you name it.
Yeah.
I love all of that significantly more than I like the idea of getting on a plane, going to LA. That so far so good. And then driving 40 minutes to this thing, an hour and a half to that thing, 3 hours to this, 4 hours to that.
Yeah.
That sounds like
Nightmare.
this is
Yeah.
we wake up in our nice hotel, walk across the Skyway, and we're there.
That's true.
It would
The
not happen
convenience
in
is there.
LA.
The convenience is certainly there. No, LA would have been
And Dallas,
the only
same,
thing that would have been kind of money about LA.
is that it's in LA and it's February.
Correct. And also we would have been done by 11 local.
Yeah, that's a big win.
I mean, you're in a situation where you could be on some sort of fantastic golf course 1 o'clock.
Now, if you said to me, Nathan,
I mean, to be fair,
if you said to me, this is what's happening, we're going.
we could even make a
we're
drive to
staring
the
in
desert.
We're staring.
We could go to the desert, play, come back. I mean, you could do that in a day.
Okay, all right. So, what you're saying to me now is we're staying.
That'll
in
be
an-
our travel day.
We're staying in an Airbnb in Santa Monica,
Sure.
overlooking the Pacific Ocean.
That's right.
Okay, now I'm in.
Yeah. So the 11 o'clock year end is pretty money.
Well, because it feels like then
It's
we're
a
going
full
to be
day.
we'll be teeing off at the country club with LD, right? I mean, that I feel like if we
he's
got
got to be at Bel Air, right?
I think he is at Bel Air. Yeah.
Feels like he would have to.
Don't you
be
feel like he's at
Bel Air.
Riviera too? Is he going to play a little
Probably
Riviera?
LA Country Club. I'm
LA
sure
Country
all of
Club's
them-
what I've heard for LD. Yes.
It feels like it's Bel Air. Isn't that where his, or maybe it, because they show that, but maybe that's just in the show. Because doesn't Bel Air have like that bridge that goes across,
I don't know.
like the Hogan Bridge or something? I think that's at Bel Air. I want to say he's there.
We can find this out. Gibby, where are we at on Stevie's, Gibby? Because this would be something for Stevie to find out. To not only tell us where Larry David plays his golf, but also set up around with us.
He's not your concierge.
That's what you think.
Riviera. He's definitely at Riviera.
This is the bridge at Bel Air. I'm pretty sure that was in the show, wasn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, LD's at Riviera, and actually in the year 2011, he won the most improved golfer at the club. Congrats to him.
There you go.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
We have
So
a
anyway.
meeting. We have a meeting on Thursday to discuss some interns.
Why do you have to have a meeting? Don't you? You're the head honcho. It says so on your desk.
I see it over
Can't
there.
you just pick the guy?
We
I
have
see it over
meetings.
there.
All we do. We have
Come
meetings.
on.
I see it over there. You like that?
I did like that. I see it right over there. That's nice.
Sure.
I mean, can't we just pick
No.
our guy? Like, get
Yeah.
Meckling in here and let's
In
go?
theory, we have meetings.
Yeah. I feel like you need to have the autonomy to just make that so. Just I dream a genie that. Just one of these, and that's it. Next thing you know, you got yourself an intern.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's how that's got to go.
Larry raised money for the caddies at Riviera during coronavirus. He got a lot of high-profile donations to help them. He is absolutely a member of Riviera, and his best score on the back nine is a 38, which he's quite proud of.
Wow.
So there it is.
38.
That's pretty good.
I'll take
Riviera
that.
looks fantastic. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. That's where you go. I wonder if he shoots the show there.
It says it's what it says. That is
It
Riviera.
has to.
It says that
I mean,
it's Riviera
the guy
in
has
the show.
shot scenes everywhere.
Yeah, so that would be the only way that he would have that type of autonomy to,
Yep.
run amok.
David is an avid member at Riviera. He's filmed a number of episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm at the club, which annually hosts the PGA Tour's Genesis Invitational.
There you
And
go.
there you go.
So look at all the places we could look what we could have done.
He's for
on an LA.
sure in my dream foursome. Like he'd be the first person I think, period, that I would want to play golf with.
Yeah, I think that would be
Unreal.
Yeah. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
It sure would be.
Yeah. Anytime people do that, they always talk about playing with like Tiger and all that. And there's no joy in that for me. There might be for you. There wouldn't be for me. And I don't think Tiger's necessarily got the best sense of humor. So I don't know if that would be a lot of fun. I guess you could say I played with Tiger and that was cool.
Sure.
But
Got to have a fun group.
Sure.
It comes down
it's
to
4.5 hours of your life, unless you have fast carts, and then you can do it in 2,
Yeah.
which I'm always a proponent of. I don't know why there aren't more fast carts around. Why do they have governors on them? They should be able to go 20. Everybody goes 20, 25 miles an hour. Zip it along.
Here's my biggest pet peeve on a
Hit
golf
me.
course. The ones that have like a GPS sensor on your cart, and then they're like, "Oh no, you can't be here wherever it is."
Shuts down.
and it shuts down.
Yeah.
No.
Come on.
I'm not going to drive on a green.
No,
I'm not
come
going
on.
to drive on a tee box.
Be
This is
sensible.
society.
Be reasonable.
I am a steward of the golf course.
Yeah.
I'm fixing my ball marks. A lot of people don't do that. They chip it on. They don't fix their pitch marks.
It drives
They hit
me
an iron on.
nuts.
Are you nuts? Exactly.
We live
You
in a
fix that-
society.
It's a divot tool.
You
A
fix
lot of times you can get them for free
Yeah.
right where you
tee off on the
Yeah.
first tee. Most places
Correct.
will have a divot tool for you. You grab it, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And remember, it's from the outside in,
That's
pop it
the
up,
biggest.
and then you pat it down.
Yeah,
You're
there's
not
so many.
replacing it. You're popping up the ground. You pat it down flat, ball rolls right in the hole. You got to do that. I'm a great steward of the golf course.
You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be.
And by the way, it's
part
also
of
a
the deal.
misnomer that you're supposed to put your divots back. You want to fill them with sand.
Just depends.
Depends on the course.
Depends on the
If they give
climate
it
and
to
the
you.
course, because
Sure,
some
sure.
people want that replaced. Others will just want to do the sand with the grass. I've seen that, but I have seen some that want them replaced, and then because they think it grows back faster. So
Isn't it amazing though that you can take a divot after a beautiful, and you like your divot to be like my iPhone here, a nice dollar bill size, right? Mm-hmm. And then you can just put it back and it just reattaches like
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, like if you were to sever your finger and then reattach.
This finger is not the same. I never reattached anyway. I'm a grow back.
Where are you on the grow back on it?
It looks pretty normal, right? Like if you didn't know, but over there, this skin is.
Oh, I can see a little bit of there's a little.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There is a little bit of
angle
yeah.
compared to the It that skin is very sensitive.
We don't want that.
Listen, sometimes you make a sacrifice for a bolognese.
Bolognese. Sometimes
I suffer for my soup.
no suffering coming up next. Donovan Peoples-Jones in studio. We're off
That's
and
what we're
running
told.
on a Tuesday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. A lot of bad advice out there about gambling, from secret methods to picking lottery numbers to betting big when you're on a roll. The myths can lose you money and get you in a lot of trouble. So before you wager, find out what's real and what isn't at keepitfunohio.com. Since Nathan and I have been doing this show, there have been several people in the draft process that we would talk about, and then it would come to fruition, and we would say, got to have him, find a way, got to have him. The man to my right is one of those guys.
There
was quite a big celebration when you were selected by this franchise a couple years ago, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Good to see you, buddy. First day of OTAs in the books, coming off of the Bahamas. Let's go back first. What was that? Let's start there.
Yeah,
because
don't bury the
we
lead.
didn't have some great weather, this spring. It's been tough. So what was it like to get everybody together, to go down to paradise like it is down there, and to be able to come together a bit as a group and get some work done but have some fun and bond?
It was a dope experience. Like a lot of guys, is the first year kind of with me. It's my first time being in the off-season program for the whole year. So for us to kind of get around each other, bond with each other in the Bahamas, Deshaun took care of that, and it was a dope experience for everybody to just connect and just have fun.
Was there anybody that you went into that trip that maybe you didn't know as well, and then coming out of the trip you're like, man, I love this guy?
Yeah, a lot of guys. I feel like I connected with a lot of guys down there, even within the receiver room. Amari Cooper, he's a pretty quiet guy, but, got a chance to get to know him a little bit and really get to know everybody on the offense a little bit more.
What we just stumbled on here is something we take for granted a little bit, like your first full off season.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, like we've dealt with pandemic for 2 years, and it's been hit or miss what you could do or what you couldn't, and now you're finally getting what is a normal, the old normal off season. What's that been like?
It's been nice. Like I said, to get more coaching, to be around the guys for a longer time, being able to bond, being able to do things outside of the facility, no COVID restrictions this year. It's been very, very helpful.
Do you feel like you guys are already closer? Because it had to be so difficult the last couple of years.
It was. You really couldn't get together outside the facility at all. And now, guys are going places together, going to eat together, doing different things outside of the building, which all builds, great team camaraderie.
How hungry are you guys? I mean, you tasted a couple of years ago the postseason disappointment last year. We know everything the organization has done. Obviously, Deshaun in the mix is an enormous commitment, and we see immediately the type of talent that he is. But there's a lot of guys on this team who have tasted it and then had it pulled away. Do you sense that in the team?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I think they were hungry, definitely want to win. And, want to just keep continuing to get better day in, day out, week in, week out, and every game once the season comes.
With Deshaun coming in as a wide receiver, you obviously want to develop chemistry with your quarterback. And it looked today, just being out there, you and him seem to already have a very good chemistry. The ball's right where you want it. You're making the catches on the sidelines, getting open. What has stood out to you about him on the field, and then what stood out to you about Deshaun off the field?
Well, on the field, he's very smart, very instinctive, delivers a very beautiful pass. Off the field, he's just a cool guy. He's a genuine person. From what I've been around, he took care of the whole team in the Bahamas, and I feel like that says a lot about his character.
It feels like you've had this apprenticeship the last couple of years with some veterans who know their way around. You think about Jarvis and Odell and the way that those guys went through, and now it does feel a little. Nathan and I talk about this all the time. It does feel like it's your time. That it's your time to, as we head into what this offense can be, that it's your time to go. And remember the impact you made that first game in Dallas, where you just were everywhere you needed to be blocking. And we remember talking to guys at the time saying he just knows everything. He knows everywhere he's supposed to be. You've done the work, and it does feel like that to us. Do you feel like that this going into this season, this is, and you've had great already, but in terms of what you're capable of, it can be unleashed a little bit this year?
I'm just trying to, keep growing, keep building, keep learning from, past experiences and just keep moving forward.
When you go out in your exit interview a year ago, what was because I know part of that is they give you, this is what we want you to focus on in the offseason. What was your big point of emphasis?
We're just developing more of a, leadership role within the receiver room. I'm one of the guys who've been there the longest, so.
Is that crazy to say out loud?
It is. It definitely is. It definitely is. It's, it hasn't really been too long, but I'm very, comfortable with the scheme, and other guys who aren't as comfortable, I can kind of be there to kind of help them out and kind of bring them up to speed.
In terms of Coach O'Shea and everything that he's been to your early career and what he wants you to grow into, what are those conversations like as you continue to evolve as a player?
Just continue coaching. He's a really good coach. He's very on it. He's all about the details. which is why, I respect him a lot. And just continued coaching, continued personal growth, things that he says applies to, on the field, but as a man too. So just continuing to listen and grow and develop.
All right. You and I both found a tweet that we both tweeted out about a week ago, I want to say it was, where Marcus Mosher put together the guys who had the highest big play percentage in the entire National Football League a year ago. And so what he did is it was your targets, your looks, and then your big plays. You get a percentage out of that, and then we find out who was the leader in the NFL. Well, it turns out we're sitting with him right now. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 58 looks, 12 big plays. That's 20.7%. That was tops in the league. The top four, by the way, were DPJ Gabriel Davis, who everybody's thinking is going to have a breakout year in Buffalo, Tyler Lockett, and Deebo Samuel. So very productive guys there. You're a very productive guy. If you look at your per target basis, over 11 yards per target, which is an elite number in the NFL. So are you hungry to say, just give me some more opportunities? And I feel like we're going to be a more pass-oriented offense this year. I think that's a natural progression of things. So are you excited about the possibilities? If you're a guy who gets 80 targets, 90 targets, you're a 1,000-yard guy based on what you've done historically, and I think you're only getting better.
Yeah, I'm excited. Excited to be in this offense, excited for another year, another opportunity. Like I said earlier, I just want to keep growing, keep making the most out of all my opportunities.
That's that evolution we talk about, right?
Yeah.
And that growth, and that's what you want no matter what profession you're in, you want to continue to be able to raise the bar and get a little better year in and year out and improve your worth going forward. And it feels like there's a lot. I think about Chief. We talk about Chief with that too. Like, do you get, when those at-bats come, you're ready for it? It feels like you guys have put in the work, and you are. And then when you factor in what Deshaun can bring and will bring to this offense, not just from a passing standpoint, but with his feet, there's a potential here for this to be very dangerous. We don't put the cart before the horse. We got a long ways to go. But in terms of how dangerous this offense can be, it feels like it's got an answer for everything. And you guys are just doing the very beginning stages of that right now. But can you sense what it could be?
I always think you can sense what it can be early on. But like you said, we got a long way to go. And we're going to take this thing day by day. And hopefully everybody, on the same page, in which I think we are. So continue to elevate.
So this is your third year in this system, which, by the way, nice, right? You get to be in one system for your entire career. Number one, how much more comfortable are you than you were even last year at this time? And then number two, what do you see as some of the big changes that could be coming or to this season's version now with Deshaun at quarterback?
Yeah, I feel definitely more comfortable every year. Every time I get to go out there, you kind of get to learn from your past experience. So, I try to focus on that and keep growing as much as I can. And, with Deshaun, I think it's just going to add on to that. I think he brings a certain confidence and swagger to the team that, everybody feeds off of as well. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this year, for this season, and for everything that's in store.
Were you excited to see a fellow Michigan man come into the fold here with Chase?
Absolutely.
That's your guy, yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah, we locker mates now. Love Chase. He's a fiery guy, dope personality. So
I didn't recognize him without the hair the first time.
Yeah.
I'm so used to seeing the locks.
He's trying to look like Thor now. That's what he's going with, the
He's
short-haired
going for
Thor.
new Thor.
Yeah, new Thor.
He was old Thor.
He was old Thor. Now new
with
Thor.
You see it, the blonde locks coming out. He's got this guy. He talked him into last bit of the shower, go cold
shower. Yeah.
You do that too?
A little bit cold shower, yeah. I think it come from like that Wim Hof.
Yeah, Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
That's what I said. Wim
That's
Hof.
that guy was on Real Sports where he gets in there and he just sits there for an hour in the freezing cold.
He
lake.
does that, but then he trains you to hold your breath as well. And supposedly if you get to the advanced levels, you can hold your breath for 3 minutes, and then you have the voices, just like the cold shower gives you the voices. And I don't know, man. It sounds pretty wild to me. But yeah, Wim Hof, it's good stuff. It gives you an energy, right? When you get that cold shower. I do it every time now. I won't stop. I don't think I'll ever stop.
I have it.
There's science behind it.
There's science.
Science.
Always lean on
Brilliant.
the science. I got the shower that's behind, but then it's above and then jets at. So I'm in all of the heat.
What a flex right there. Did you
all
hear
of
that?
the
Did you
heat.
hear that? What a
I'm
subtle
in all
flex.
of the heat. And
Living at Pebble Beach.
No, you're listening. I'm listening to you, and I'm listening to Winovich, and I'm going, okay, let's go cold the last minute. Let's see what's happened. I'll tell you what, if you're in that type of shower situation, you're going to want to adjust where the water's coming from to get directly hit with the cold water after the warm.
You can go.
No one needs
go
that.
on a gradient. You bring it down,
I went all
and
in.
then. But it's great though. But you
I
felt
felt
that
like
shock.
John Rambo in First Blood.
You felt that
It
shock.
was, it was awful.
It's a shock to your system.
It did give you a little bit of a rush, though. I will give you that.
Yeah, that's the point. All right, DPJ, this year goes bonkers. You become the guy. You have a monster season. The team wins. You're super happy and everything. based off of this tweet, which was a week ago, one day, maybe one day, I won't have to pay for you at Chipotle tweets. Would that be the dream? Would a Chipotle deal, is that the dream for you?
I don't think anybody knows how much I love Chipotle more than like the people I'm around closely. Just speaking, yesterday I had Chipotle 3 times.
Okay. First of all,
Just
like we need to have this done already. Like this should
Yeah,
already
this should be
done.
happening.
Like
yeah. His agent, Dom. Where's Dom at?
Dom, what are
get
you
on
doing?
this. Come on.
Dom's trying to get back to the Bahamas.
Come on, Dom.
I mean, Dom,
We got to get him a Chipotle deal.
we
The
got
guy
to get a
loves
Chipotle deal immediately.
All right, Chipotle, I need y'all to make sure that Donovan Peoples-Jones gets him a deal. It doesn't matter if it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4
Lifetime,
years.
Dom. Go shoot for the
Free
stars.
supply, gift cards, email me or email him. We need it.
That's it.
And there it is.
Yes,
And there it is. I
What's
feel like
the
it's
order?
out there.
Did
Yeah.
you
What's
have 3
the
different
order?
orders yesterday?
No, same order.
Every
Same
time.
order.
Every time.
Oh God. Let's go.
I'm writing this down.
Write it down.
Go ahead.
Yep. So we go in there. We got double rice,
White or brown?
white rice,
Double white. Okay.
double white with the cilantro and the lime,
Yes.
and then we going 1 scoop of the regular chicken,
Uh-huh.
and then we're going 2 scoops of the pollo asada.
Triple meat already.
you
Love
know,
it.
And then, now I'm just going a little hot sauce, and then I'm out the door.
That's it.
That's
The
it.
the red one.
Yeah, the red.
The red one. Yeah, the hottest. No pico de gallo.
No
No
pico,
corn.
No corn.
No lettuce.
No lettuce.
No guac.
No verde.
guac,
No verde.
No verde.
No cheese. No sour cream.
Maybe some cheese and sour cream every now and then.
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
I stay away from the white condiments. That's just me. I'm not a fan of the cream. But
You don't like the crema.
no crema. Don't try to call it a crema. Don't try to call it an aioli and make me feel like it's good. No,
It's cream
I'm out.
or
I
mayo.
know, or
That's
mayo.
it.
I know
That's it.
exactly. I know what you're doing over there. So all right. So this is fantastic. Would you say, because you said 3 yesterday, in a year, 365 days, Michigan man, of course, he's aware of this. He'd probably tell me about the quarter for the leap year to make it completely accurate. How many Chipotle bowls are you eating in 1 year
In 1 year,
on average?
it's at least once a week. So between 50 and 100.
Okay.
Probably like 75-ish.
75-ish.
Because
Okay.
some weeks it can get 2, and then maybe if I'm somewhere else.
We had 3 yesterday, so that really sets the number up.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
then I
you're
probably won't
good
eat it again for like another week. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm-
And then you'll be back in there.
Yeah.
Is there somebody else on the team that enjoys Chipotle as much as you do?
I haven't found.
You haven't
anyone.
found them?
No.
Yeah.
Would you say it's accurate to say that you've goaded Chipotle?
Chipotle's goated.
Chipotle-
Chipotle is
Chipotle's
goated.
goated?
Chipotle is goated,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's
Chipotle.
You
for
can't
Pope-
goat Chipotle.
Okay, so Donovan comes in today. My oldest is in this thing where he's talking about, like the other day at dinner, he goes, "Oh yeah, Dad, you."
That was a
goated."
good old
He-
man version of did you goat Chipotle? That was great.
I tried.
I enjoyed it. Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
understand how to use it in a sentence. So the way he
It's
said
goated.
it was,
Yeah.
he goes, "Dad, you goated this steak," and I don't know, so I don't understand what. So instead,
I
it
feel like
be
he
that-
should have said the steak is
he-
goated.
To be fair, he's
Steak is
10.
goated.
The
Yeah.
steak is goated.
So this is a good little lesson for him
Yeah.
on how to use it.
Yeah.
But Donovan came in here with the hoodie,
goated forever.
goated forever.
Donovan's goated.
You were aware of this because of your son? There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way you knew about this independently.
Well, I mean, I know about the goat, and then when somebody,
Well, right.
then something can be goated, then it's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, the goated thing, the ED on the end of
Yeah.
it was new to me.
Bryce from Fortnite.
It's
I'm
Fortnite.
goated. I'm goated. That's what he says. Like he'd
Fortnite thing.
take his boys out, and he's like, I'm goated.
Do you play?
No, I don't play.
No.
No video games?
Nah, not anymore.
Not even Madden?
Nah,
There have
not
been some
anymore.
good DPJ cards that they dropped this year, which I'm sure you've heard about, but it never got on there.
Nah,
Okay,
no.
all right. What do you like to do for fun in your free time?
Chill with friends, family.
Yeah. A people person. That's why he's a
There you go.
goated human. He said, what are you
Peoples.
goated? Peoples. It's in his name.
That's right.
It's in his name.
Your app?
Yes.
You got an app?
Yes, sir.
It's let's go. What can
What
you
is
tell
it?
us?
Tell ya.
It's called Deep Pass Jam. Acronym DPJ.
Sure.
It's basically we made the app for. It's a children's app, so but anybody can play it. But it's basically like an arcade game where you kind of travel and see how far you can go with, an avatar that looks like me. And all the proceeds going to the Children's Mott's Hospital at the University of Michigan. So.
Goated human. We said it before.
You're gonna
And
get-
not only that, you've got a free youth camp coming up next month.
Yep.
Where's that at?
That'll be in Detroit, Michigan.
In Detroit?
Yep.
Nice. I'll tell you what, you got 3 downloads on this for my 3 boys as soon as I'm done here.
That's right.
High scores. Need
We'll
to see
get
who
them
got the
locking
highest
out. And then one of them will be goated?
score. Yes.
If
Whoever-
they're the
whoever
number
gets
one, if
highest
they get the
score.
highest score, then they're goated.
Did I use it in a sentence correctly?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
What a job out of me.
That was
Thanks
big.
for stopping by, buddy.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
Good
the
seeing
time.
you.
Like us, but would be goated? This Bahamas trip probably was goated. And
was.
if we get to go on it next year, more goated. I
More.
don't know if you can be more goated once you're goated,
Donovan
but
told-
we try.
Deshaun told us
He said, I know. I saw him in the weight room today. He said, hey,
We can
I was
come.
like, Deshaun, the only thing he was missing, because he says it's the great best trip ever. That's what everybody says, best trip ever, best trip ever. I said, the only thing you're missing were the radio guys. We could go broadcast out there. We won't get in the way. Well, we're a fun group.
He did say that Dom would not be able to go if we did. So Dom,
He said it was Dom or Gibbe.
Dom. Would you,
And
are
I feel
you
like
willing
Dom
to
wins that.
sacrifice
Peepaw.
for us? Dom is not willing to sacrifice for us.
Dom, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Don't be selfish. You got to
got to
ride
go?
the yeah.
You know, one
You rode Space Mountain, brother.
every other year, Dom. What's
Yeah.
the harm in that? Who gets hurt?
I'll take every other year.
Oh, so
For us?
selfish.
Yeah, I mean, we can get a deal going on.
There you go.
Dom, great human. Chipotle, listen to that.
Fantastic
Two
human.
great humans right here showing what it's like to care for their fellow man. What better?
The big year out of this. This is gonna be fun.
Oh, my God.
Gonna be fun.
Come on. He
Good
knows.
seeing you, buddy.
The fam knows. His whole
Donovan-
family knows. This is a DPJ show.
All the peoples know.
All the peoples.
All the peoples
I see
know.
what you did there.
Yeah. State school, but every
But
once in a
still
while.
pretty good.
Every once in a while.
Still pretty good.
The great Donovan Peoples-Jones in studio. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you guys.
You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. My good friends at the Bath Authority can give you that bathroom of your dreams. They can do it for you in about a day. In fact, you could transform your current bathroom into a custom bath, a spa-like feel. Remember the things I just was explaining with the jets and the waterfall on top, all of that?
Yes.
This is what they do. They can do these things. They'll take care of you.
They can do it.
Yeah, they'll take care of you. And they'll do it for you at a fraction of the cost of the competitors. The Bath Authority is our area's premier bath and shower remodeler, expert factory-trained installers. You give them a call right now. You get $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel. That number, 216-220-8399, or go to thebathauthority.com. They have the largest selection of bath projects. They're all made in the United States. Superior products, expert installers. Again, give them a call now. $500 off your next custom bath or shower remodel at 216-220-8399. Tell them Beau sent you. Go to thebathauthority.com, where affordability meets quality. Honestly, at the end of the DPJ interview, we could have just said the next level's next.
The interview was goated, and we could have just walked out. High note, Costanza.
That's it.
Why don't we just turn it over?
But here we are.
Why don't we just turn it over to the man who has now 3 different Twitter handles that we know about? We've got BGSU Gibbs, which is a dud. We've got Peepaw Gibbe, great, and we have Pappy Van Gibbe.
That's done
up.
too.
Oh yeah, Pappy Van Gibbe.
Pappy Van Gibbe.
And Pappy Van Gibbe's got some great pictures.
Is it all the same person?
I don't know,
It's gotta be.
Pappy Van Gibbe's got.
We'll block him by
he's
the
got.
end of the day.
He's got Gibbe on a Mount Rushmore as one of his pictures.
Pappy Van Gibbe.
Yeah.
That's one now too.
Yeah, Pappy Van Gibbe. Oh yeah, they're all out in the mix.
I need to look at this. Pappy Van Gibbe. What's the tag?
I think it's just at Pappy Van Gibbe. I'll have to look up. It's a new. I followed him.
It's riveting radio right here.
We got at BGSU Peepaw. So we have at BGSU Peepaw. Meckling tweeted.
It's huge P. Is what the.
Oh yeah, huge P.
Huge
right.
P.
Yeah.
It's a great picture of Gibby on
Unbelievable.
Rushmore.
And then he's on Rushmore.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in. At
Here's-
Pappy Van Gibbe.
Here's an
You're
interesting
followed.
plot twist. Meckling tweeted at BGSU Peepaw. What is the best gift you've ever received, and why is it Nathan Zegura and Beau Bishop? Meckling. God, Bobby, legend.
Way to go, Roberto.
Roberto. I mean, is he in the mix?
Bobby!
Is he in the mix, Gibbe?
Who?
Meckling, Bobby.
I don't know.
Has he submitted an application?
I don't think he has.
Yeah, he's probably
He may have like
employed.
a real.
I feel like he's got a
he's
real
a-
job.
he's a man of.
He's an established individual.
Yes, he's a man of consequence.
Hey, did you pick Stevie when we had Esteban? Did you pick him, or was he assigned?
He was definitely assigned.
That kid set the bar so high.
I know. He's doing TV. Where's he doing TV?
Like
South
Minot,
Dakota?
North Dakota, or
North
something,
Dakota, yeah.
someplace out there in the
Yeah.
Dakotas.
He's a star.
Why not?
2 states. Why not 1? You tell me.
Why not? Yeah. Yeah, so this
Do
is.
we need 2 Dakotas? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, not
But
sure.
then you're at 49 states.
I'm not
You
sure.
need
we
the
do.
You
even
pick up
number.
Puerto Rico, you safe.
Oh.
Take
I like
Vancouver.
that.
Take British Columbia from the Canadians. That way
What a
we
great
can
place.
drive on our land all the way up to Alaska.
Could thrive.
Sure.
Pappy
Pick
Van
up a
Gibbe.
Caribbean. Go take Bermuda. We've got Hawaii.
Bahama.
Go grab Bermuda or the Bahamas. Come on.
Come on. Yeah, something a little tropical. Something fun.
What's the harm?
Fun for the kids. No harm. No harm whatsoever.
Yeah. Puerto Rico's there waiting. You can take them.
By the way, real quick little news from around the league. The Ravens have agreed to terms on a 1-year deal with cornerback Kyle Fuller, which feels like a very nice Ravens move. Kyle Fuller, very good player. So
Part of the Fuller Virginia Tech dynasty, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. You've got that, right?
I did see that they were having discussions about the Pro Bowl and what to do with that.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot. I mean,
I've got that slated for 2:15, but if you want to go ahead and talk
Oh, Peepaw.
we had so many
Off
luminaries
the
in
top
here.
rope.
We've got Monson coming up at 2 o'clock.
Monson. I'm kind of
Sammy?
upset with Monson, though.
I look forward to you, bringing your grievance up to him. I don't
Why?
know what you
What did
possibly
Monson
upset
do?
about. What did he do?
It's not what he did. It's what he didn't do.
Oh, plot twist.
I felt like that would have been a great time on an SNL skit when I said they would zoom the camera in.
And right in.
Yeah. Like for the Californians.
I do believe I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know what Sam. I guess you'll. I don't know. I look forward
Sam
to the
Monson
explanation.
put out a list of his the best guards in the NFL, and he only had 3 people on that list, and I think there was an omission.
No Wyatt. No Joel. One,
Yes,
but not both.
no.
Did he also put out the corner one?
No Wyatt. Yes, correct. No Joel.
Oh, okay.
No. Yes, Joel.
But no Wyatt, huh?
That's hence the
Sad.
need for a
Sad.
grievance.
Hate to see it. We'll file the grievance.
Or is it a
against Sam.
staunch Wyatt Teller show? Guy pancakes
Absolutely. All right, so I'm just going to flip your segments then. Get
Yeah,
it since
you're
we
fine.
start. So we'll
You're
do
safe.
Yeah, he's safe, pal. Get into the Cody Benjamin ranking the quarterback coach thing at 2:15.
Sure.
On this Pro Bowl conversation.
Okay.
This is the tricky part. This thing still rates pretty well. The game's been garbage for a long time, but it rates pretty well. In the old days, a trip to Hawaii for the family was great.
Yes.
And I don't know. I still think that would have a little juice to it.
They still get to go to Orlando, right? And I know that they get to go do the Disney
Hey, come
where
on,
you
let's
get
not-
to cut
let's not
every
com-
line.
Let's not compare Orlando to Hawaii. I mean, that's a very different vacation.
The kingdom is magic, brother.
It is. It's fine. I've been putting it off with the family for a long time. Eventually, I'm going to
You're
go
gonna have a
probably
real-
this
you
year.
have a great time.
But it's quite a bit different, I think. All expenses to Hawaii, all expenses to Orlando.
Yes.
Yeah. So to me, if you go back to you go back to Hawaii, maybe you have a chance. That being said, I think it's probably past its time. You know, some people talk about skills competitions. You know, maybe like they used to. You remember like Battle of the Network Stars?
Loved it.
So great. Bruce Jenner,
Loved it.
Really good.
Yeah.
Decathlete.
Turns out, yeah. It means
Really
you're good at
good.
10 different things just right out of the gate.
really was. Just thrived at that. I always felt like Frank Gifford was in the mix too on that.
And I loved
Nice
when they
Lynn
would have.
Swan. Juice Simpson, pretty heavily involved.
I also liked when they would do the things, and I don't even remember what, and maybe perhaps it was on that show, but where they would do like, I remember there were dunk contests with Irv
Absolutely.
and Prime, and like,
Oh yeah,
That's
well, that
what I
was
want.
well. There was the Foot Locker Slam Fest or whatever, where like Mike Connolly would win, and then Prime was in that, and Irv was in that.
Yeah.
I
give
remember
me some
that
more
as
of
well.
that.
That was
Give
good.
me some of that.
I do think maybe I saw Ben Albright tweet something similar, and it got me thinking like, you know, most accurate thrower, strongest arm, fastest. Like, is
The
there
40-yard dash was fun
is
last
that
year at
stuff
the Pro Bowl.
interesting? I guess only if you get the best players.
Wasn't the
to
Pro
do
Bowl
it.
at Vegas this year?
Sure,
It was, right?
I think it was. Yeah.
It was.
It was Vegas. So Vegas isn't so bad. But yeah, I think they need to come up with something. Ocho Cinco said he thinks it should be like all people who are out of the league flag football against like this year's Pro Bowlers. So like you could have, I don't know,
Like Terrell Owens and Ocho Cinco and
T.O. and Ocho
Chet
and
Carson Palmer.
Basically,
Sure,
the only
yes.
2 wide receivers are 2 former players that are like, I desperately want to keep playing.
I need to find something to do with my time.
Yeah.
Ocho's a tremendous boxer. He eats a lot of McDonald's.
By the
A
way,
frugal
we didn't
man.
talk about it yesterday, but did you see the Frank Gore? The
Yes,
tweet of
Frank Gore
Gore
is a
knocking
beast.
out a guy
Well,
at boxing.
that's you know, Zoe had that in him.
Yes.
You know, those South Florida dudes that play down there, play a little tailback and play a little knock you out.
I'm also pretty sure that Zoe was a darn good lacrosse player. Is that he posted something about that the other day?
What?
I would think so. Like it's on his. He posts a bit though, so it'll be tough to get through. But
Big Twitter guy? A lot of posts?
not huge, but he's definitely active. I think so.
And he was saying that he was into
Hold on,
lax.
I gotta find. Carry on something else.
I don't have anything else to
I'm gonna
say.
source
I'll
this.
tell you. I'll give you something.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Marty and the people at Paramount. I got to see Top Gun Maverick.
Oh
last
yeah,
night.
Gibbe exclusive, Peepaw exclusive.
It was fantastic.
We were invited.
You were invited. You were
What
on
are you
the email.
talking about? I was invited. I don't
Yeah,
know
sent
anything
you
about
an
this.
email. Sent you both an email
Yes,
about
he
it.
did, and asked multiple times.
This is the first time hearing of it.
No,
erroneous. Correct.
erroneous.
No, the first time hearing of it is right now.
I'm telling you,
I
we
think we
had a
had a discussion
conversation
about it in here.
this?
in the studio about the premiere.
I'm sorry, it wasn't lacrosse.
I remember having
for
the
Alonzo.
conversation about naval.
No.
You know,
Well,
this was
you're right.
recently. Marty Fox, our good friend
Fine, you.
here in town, had seats last night for the Cleveland premiere.
Yeah, he did.
It was on the west side of town.
Facts. That's why I didn't make it.
oh, too far.
Too far.
Yeah.
Too far.
I honestly don't remember a You sent me an email on this?
Oh, yeah.
And we did
then I
mention
think
it
I
once
followed
in
up.
studio. We
Yeah.
we talked about it once, but briefly.
Are you sure I was not? Are you sure I was here?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't I
No.
wasn't in
No,
the West
you were all
Coast.
here.
Because a show
I
happened.
wasn't on holiday.
A show
No.
happened.
Did it?
No, that's how I know you were here.
Okay. Can I get one thing on the East Side?
No, there's not. No,
God,
All
No.
I know,
can't catch a break.
no. The
I-
disrespect.
I
for
want-
the
I
East
want-
Side. Look
I
at
want
him.
to shout out.
Look at him.
Wait,
Strutting
what
and
happened?
strutting.
Come back.
Look at this.
Come back. I mean,
I
he's in
can't see. There's a door in the way.
the man is he's in a khaki pant,
Beautiful blazer.
a gorgeous loafer, a crisp white shirt, and a
Yes.
light blue window pane blazer.
That's right.
Is that what just happened
That's right.
on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday, you saw it.
Top Gun Maverick.
It lives up to the hype of a sequel.
Well, now
And
what does
then
that
some.
mean? Because some are great
That sounds
and
like
some
an
suck.
insult.
No,
Like
Are we talking
Godfather,
Caddyshack
great.
too?
no.
Caddyshack 2, suck. Smoking the
Nope.
Bandit 2,
Oh
suck.
God,
Suck.
he's peacocking around. He wanted to come back again. Is he maybe coming
Look at
in?
this. Look at this.
He's got something in his hand.
The
He's got
attire's insane
he
right
has something
now.
in his hand. He has a hat.
That
He is
what he's
coming
got
in.
going on right
He's
now
coming in.
is electric.
He's coming in.
This outfit is electric.
He's coming in.
Nothing
oh God.
says summer quite
He's
like
in here.
this.
Look
Oh,
at that. Would you look at that
boy.
beauty? Would
The
you look
home
at that?
state.
Look at
Look
this
at
coat.
that. How gorgeous.
Sit.
Where's
Look
he
at
getting
that.
this? What's he doing? Buying property? Is he buying property in the
I don't
home
know.
state? I can help with that.
I don't
Swag.
know.
I mean,
Is he still in there?
Maybe if we wanted to take a training camp trip, you want to do some joint practices off-site somewhere for a week.
I got property.
Let's do it.
I love that. Look at that.
Look
That's
at that.
strong.
What a
Established
bold
1889.
leather. A bold leather
It's a
logo.
Beautiful leather.
Can I touch
Gorgeous
that?
olive. Yeah, please.
Supple. It feels like it's a brown spotted.
We'll go over your vocabulary before we get there.
The
Yeah,
heifer.
we're
the
gonna have
heifer.
to- we're definitely
How
gonna
about
have
that?
to
How
fix
about that? How about that? The heifer.
The heifer?
Yeah. Is that good?
You would, yeah.
Hereford?
No, a Hereford is a
Oh, boy.
breed of cow.
Yeah, Hereford. Yeah.
A heifer
It's a
is
big one.
is a female cow that is yet to give birth
Yeah.
to a
Right.
baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a brown
there we go.
spotted is American
Yeah.
Wagyu.
I don't think that's right.
I think that is incorrect.
I don't think that's right. But I love that you
A
keep
black
saying it.
Angus.
Now you're on it.
A red Angus.
Sure. Yeah. Now you're on to something.
A brown spotted
Brown
Angus.
spotted I don't know that that's possible.
A
It is.
Let's
colonel.
do some crossbreeding there.
A colonel.
Back to Top Gun. It's fantastic. Go see it in the theaters.
It's got to be done
It's-
in the theater,
It
right?
has to be
Yeah.
done in the theater. And the first 5 seconds, you're like, all right, this is it. The
We're on.
music starts and you are in and you are dialed in and it is awesome.
I'm not sure that I mean, that anthem,
So
Top
good.
Gun anthem, is
Electric.
so good.
And you just don't expect it for part 2. And part 2 leads off.
Well, they've been
when-
making it 35 years. in the
When
making.
we went and
It is
saw
awesome.
Doctor Strange in the theater, they did about a 4-minute preview of Top Gun Maverick. So I knew that the song was in it because it was in that 4-minute preview, and everybody that all you heard are in the theater. Oh yeah, we gotta go see that.
We're gonna
it
go
looked,
see that,
It looked
yeah.
that good. I was talking with my Pete when we were golfing. Me, Pete, the kid, and Simze, and I think he said something that was very smart. Why would they not have call it the month leading up to this, have re-released a remastered Top Gun into the theaters?
Yeah, smart. Would have been smart to do that because I told you that experience. A buddy of mine put a theater room in. I'd never seen it like that. I'd only ever seen it streaming VHS when we were kids.
Oh yeah,
wore that out.
I wore it out.
Completely.
I broke it. I knew
literally
every word. There was a time in my life where I knew every word to every scene
That's right.
of that movie.
That's
Could
right.
do the whole thing.
Yeah. So to go to me, like I'd never seen it even like in a theater room, let alone like a big screen. Like that would have been a pretty good job out of them to re-release
and
it.
especially for like Bootsy and Kingsley to be able to like go see that in the theater, so that when you jump into Maverick, they have like some background on it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That is very true. I think I can take Can I take my oldest to see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, even Top Gun wasn't that bad. I just remember thinking that
there's the one
they
scene.
kiss.
There's a little
There's some
vulgarity,
kissing.
but there's
No,
not.
the vulgarity they get from me, that's fine. It's
There's just some kissing. That's all
no,
it shows,
I think it
kissing.
accelerates a little bit more with him and McGillis.
Yeah,
It does.
They looked like snakes. They were just like,
Odd kisses.
It was very odd.
Odd.
That's what I remember thinking as a little kid. I remember that.
And knowing what we know now,
demonstrate that again on camera.
No.
knowing what we know now,
Yeah.
maybe all added up.
Perhaps.
Maybe all the little breadcrumbs were there.
Maybe they were. All right, back to Alonzo Highsmith, which started this whole thing. It wasn't lacrosse. He said watching the hockey playoffs brings back memories. I mean, look, was this
He
guy,
played hockey?
Look at how formidable a young Zoe was on skates.
Jeez.
Guy is an unbelievable.
He's an unbelievable
He's
athlete.
one of the great athletes of our time.
And has
a great human.
Has one of the
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
caught on camera ever between him and Bosworth in the U doc.
Yeah.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Wow. So good.
He,
Tickets for all Cleveland
the
Browns
chutzpah.
games are on sale now. For more information, visit clevelandbrowns.com.
The chutzpah of the man, because Boz at that time felt almost unimpeachable, right? He was like,
Well, he was. I mean, it's fun. Unfortunately for him, like he got hurt in the pros and is remembered mostly for the Bo Jackson thing. But he was a super duper star player at Oklahoma, like first team All American, big time player. And it's sometimes I think people think of him as a joke because of what happened in the NFL, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
no, he was like the baddest dude.
He was the baddest dude. Yeah, he
and
was.
the mohawk and the whole
Bit.
the whole
Yeah.
thing.
He's damn good. All right, Sam Monson, PFF. You have beef.
Beef.
We'll get into that, among other things, coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Rumpke Waste Recycling, family-owned and operated. Whether you join them as a customer or as an employee, you'll become part of the family. Visit rumpke.com to learn more. Time to head out on the hotline for a visit with our good buddy, Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus, lead NFL analyst. Sam, we kind of feel like, if you're familiar with the movie Hoosiers, when Norman Dale says, my team is on the court, it kind of feels like our team is on the field now with the signing of Jadeveon Clowney. And as you look at everything that Andrew Berry has done this offseason, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty good offseason for Cleveland generally. Obviously, everything hinges on the big move they made for Deshaun Watson and everything that entails. And really that is the single biggest statement move that this franchise has made since, I guess, drafting Baker Mayfield #1 overall. So right now we don't really know what Deshaun Watson's status is going to be with the NFL getting somewhere towards wrapping up their investigation of the whole thing. But Deshaun Watson on the field, I think, is a massive upgrade for this Cleveland team. And this was a team that was almost in playoff contention last year, even with a Baker Mayfield playing through a badly injured shoulder all season long. So if they get that kind of upgrade on the field at the most important position in the game, then this is a roster that's well capable of contending.
And one of the reasons this roster is capable of contending, we know the great running backs, the great offensive line. Amari Cooper is now here, but a lot of talent on this defense, and the bringing back of Jadeveon Clowney to pair with Myles Garrett, with what's going on the back end of this D. What do you make of getting Clowney back? How important was that in your mind, and how good can this defense be now going into this season?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty important move. You need some kind of foil opposite Myles Garrett or alongside him, or just some other threat on that defensive line so the teams cannot take him away by dedicating all their resources to Myles Garrett and Myles Garrett only. You know, we saw last season that Clowney's capable of having those games where he's left with a favorable matchup and he dominates and he plays extremely well. He's never been able to sustain it for, the full season and never earned that giant contract extension that he's looking for. But from the Browns' perspective, they need a guy that can take advantage of those one-on-ones, and you probably couldn't trust a guy like Alex Wright, the rookie, to come in there and do that immediately, though I do like his kind of long-term potential of emerging into being that guy. So I think getting Clowney back makes that defensive line a different proposition for opposing offenses to have to deal with, and makes them formidable enough that they're going to be a factor in most games, with Myles Garrett obviously doing the bulk of the heavy lifting.
And Sam, also getting Denzel Ward locked up long term, and Greg Newsome, what we saw from him. I know the organization thinks a lot of Greedy Williams going into his third season. Ronnie Harrison come back. Wasn't the season maybe everybody expected from him, but he's still back. So that back side of that defense, back end of that defense, and then JOK, who, boy, was everything we thought he could be. There's a potential here, isn't there, for this defense to be pretty special?
Yeah, definitely. I think they really attacked that secondary last offseason, and they're kind of reaping the rewards of that right now. They've got a lot of quality players there, and almost too many players for the number of snaps you're going to have. And I think it's part of the reason why they were willing to trade away Troy Hill after acquiring him. But yeah, that's a really talented group in coverage, which is the most important aspect of modern defense. So that group could absolutely change the way teams attack this defense and really put some of the focus back on that defensive line and put them in some really good situations by buying them some coverage sacks and some coverage pressure.
Sam, when you flip it around to the offense where Deshaun Watson, you go and you look at the offensive lines he played behind in Houston, he has never played behind a line as good as that of the Cleveland Browns, and that's even with Nick Harris stepping in for J.C. Tretter, who has been a stud and I think one of the more underrated and underappreciated players in the NFL, certainly at his position. What can you expect that to do for a guy like Deshaun and for this offense to have that great offensive line in front of him?
Yeah, it should be huge. I mean, we've been preaching at PFF for a long time that you don't need an elite offensive line. You don't need the best offensive line in the NFL. You just need to get a serviceable group, a group of 5 average starters, and you're in a good place. But it never does you harm to have an elite offensive line. It makes everything else easier. Obviously, it makes running the ball easy, and that's why with the talent that Cleveland has in the backfield, they should have a really powerful running game as well. but it also makes everybody else's life easier from a passing game standpoint. The quarterback's going to have more time. The receivers have more time to get open. Everything just has more time and is able to function better. So, yeah, this is a great situation in terms of protection for Deshaun Watson to step into, and we've seen him play at an extremely high level despite not necessarily having that in the past. So from his perspective in terms of his potential ceiling as a quarterback, we might not have seen the best Deshaun Watson yet. And the last time we saw him play, he was playing at that elite level where he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, even if his team wasn't winning games that year.
Right, and led league in yards, led league in completion percentage. Very, very talented quarterback. And we're talking about that line real quickly. And, Sam, I got a beef with you.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Tier 1 guards, Martin, Nelson, Bitonio. What about Wyatt? The guy was the number 1 graded player in all of PFF on offense 2 years ago and was darn good again last year. What's he got to do to be Tier 1?
He needs to get a little bit better and a little bit more consistent in pass protection, I think. His run blocking has been off the charts. And, you know, when Jack Conklin was there alongside him, those two were the most potent double team in the NFL, I think. You watch those guys combination block on defensive linemen and just drive those guys off the line of scrimmage. It was crazy to see, but Wyatt Teller's, he's given up a little bit more in pass protection than the elite guys and the Tier 1 guys. So I think he's right on that cusp, and, you know, certainly there's an argument that he's in that first tier, but I think even just comparing him to Joe Bitonio, you know, the pass blocking grades are not in the same kind of area, and he's given up sort of 7 sacks over the past couple of years, and it's a significant difference.
Okay. All right. Of course,
fair.
I knew you were going to have
he
a
was
fair
gonna have
answer.
a reasoned response.
Solid.
Come on.
He's an elite Tier 2 guard then. Elite Tier 2.
Elite
That's
Tier 2.
fine.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Sam, we had Donovan Peoples-Jones in studio with us here about an hour ago, and we're talking about where we are at receiver, and I think conventional wisdom, a lot of people think that maybe the Browns need to add one more. I tend to think maybe they do too, but if they don't, I think 2 things that are critical are going to be David Njoku and Donovan Peoples-Jones, that will be the key,
Yes.
that if we don't go get somebody else, those 2 guys need to really develop. What have you seen in their young careers to maybe lead you to believe that they can or that they can't?
Well, they're both kind of special athletes and special potential. And Njoku in particular, like, this was a guy who has all the tools to be an elite tight end in today's NFL, particularly as the league gets ever more focused on receiving at that position and blocking is a smaller part of the job than it once was. Like, you look at Njoku play and you sort of wonder, like, why hasn't he been amongst the best tight ends in the NFL? There's no reason that when you watch him play that this guy can't be a Darren Waller or, you know, one of those guys that really is at the peak of that position. So I think sometimes tight ends coming into today's NFL, it's a tougher transition than it used to be, and I think we're seeing some of these guys take a few years to really get going, but I think we started to see flashes of that or more consistency from Njoku last year, so I'm kind of excited to see what he can do this season, and maybe an upgrade at the quarterback position won't hurt either. Will give him better opportunities. But I think they have huge talent, those 2 guys. And somebody like Amari Cooper coming in to be the number 1 and to take real attention away from other guys in that offense, I think can only help players like that emerge and become more consistent secondary and tertiary targets for the quarterback.
I think that's going to be very exciting, and what we're talking about is the Browns' ability to throw the football at an elite level is something that, you know, frankly, we were not able to do last season. And so what you look at Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and even Dearness Johnson and what they were able to do, it becomes more impressive because they did so against such heavy boxes. I think that's one thing that we're not really talking about. I'm curious to get your take on how does the Browns' run game get impacted by the fact that they are going to be facing significantly lighter boxes and probably a higher percentage of nickel defense as a base than they did a year ago?
Yeah, I think it probably starts off in a similar place because the offense, the scheme is going to be the same. Generally speaking, the deployment will be similar, and it's going to take Deshaun Watson in the pass game kind of earning the respect of the defense to back off, and once they're punished enough by a few big plays, sort of some play action bombs over the top, some explosive plays that are opened up by the run game and by the alignment and by the way that offense deploys, then you'll start to see defenses backing off and giving them more light boxes to run into, and that will have this, that'll have this magnifying effect on what the run game is able to do. So I think it's a kind of cycle that's going to have to play its way out. But at the start of the season, it'll be that run game powering the success of the passing game. And then later on in the year, that's when I think that run game is going to start to reap the benefits of what it was sowing earlier in the season, and taking advantage of the lighter boxes that teams are starting to transition to.
I don't know if Nick Chubb's going to even know what to do with himself in some of these situations. It's going to feel like a very foreign concept, but a great one, I think, for him and obviously for the Browns. Talking with the great Sam Monson from Pro Football Focus. All right, Sam, I want to ask you about a kicker really quickly, because you look at the Browns division. Justin Tucker may be the best to ever do it. Evan McPherson comes in, kicks the team basically to game winners throughout the playoffs, and played a massive role in the Super Bowl run of the Bengals. And the Browns have been struggling, trying to find that guy. They believe Cade York is the guy, selected him in the 4th round this year. When you guys go through this and break it down and take a look at these teams, how important is it to have a kicker that is reliable, that is, we'll call it above average or very good, or what's even a great kicker, an elite kicker? What does that mean for a team over the course of a 17-game season, and what could Cade York potentially mean for the Browns in that framework?
Yeah, it can be massively important. The issue is that the kind of data says that the only guy you can really count on being elite year after year after year is Justin Tucker.
That's right.
And everybody else kind of has elite seasons, and then they decline. They go back down. They sort of regress to the norm. But Justin Tucker is the one guy that's been able to do it consistently every single season. So, we saw last season the kind of impact that a guy like Evan McPherson can have. When he has a year like that, it's incredible, and he was a real big part of the Bengals winning some of those really important games down the stretch and into the playoffs. But that doesn't mean we're going to see that guy again next year, and he might go back to just being, a regular kicker. The good news for Cleveland is Cade York was one of the highest graded kickers in the nation last season at PFF. I think he had the 2nd highest field goal grade of any kicker in the country. So at least the data is there that says he is a very good kicker right now, and can be that guy. But yeah, it's kind of bucking a trend to be a truly elite kicker year after year for anybody whose name isn't Justin Tucker.
Sam, this is a pretty remarkable thing you got coming up with your dad. You're going to hit the road through June 10th. You and your dad, who Dr. John Monson, a board-certified colon and rectal surgeon, going to drive from California to Florida, 3,600 miles. You're going to do so in style, a 1962 E-Type Jaguar, to raise awareness and funding to support cancer research at Advent Health Cancer Institute. How did you come up with it's so cool. I have to imagine you're really looking forward to it. How did you come up with it? Where did the idea come from? And how did you decide to do it in this way?
Well, we're certainly going to start it in style. Whether or not we make it to the end in style is going to be determined by whether the car survives or not. My dad is a big kind of classic car nut, and being a surgeon, he has the kind of disposable income that he can afford to do that in a way the rest of us can't. So he had this E-Type Jag bought and kind of restored from the ground up, and it was in California by a guy that does this as a sort of specialty. And he just said one day, we could ship this thing back and just get it over to where he lives in Florida, or we could drive it back and, do something fun with it and then raise some money for charity along the way. So that's kind of where it started. So we drew up this road trip map, 3,600 miles worth of stuff, and we're going to be raising money for men's health and cancer awareness and all that kind of stuff along the way. And then hopefully the car makes it in one piece.
Now, were you like Cameron from Ferris Bueller, where you didn't get to drive the car, or did Pops let you around the cars when you were a kid?
Well, so he had this. I got taught to drive when I was like 14 because he had a theory that anyone who'd watched somebody driving, and this is like a stick shift in England. It was like anyone that watched someone driving for long enough would be able to drive just through picking it up through osmosis. I think I dispelled that pretty quickly. But yeah, I've done some driving of his stuff. When I visited him last time, I drove one of his classic cars just down to the park and back with my daughter. But this will be the first time we put any serious mileage on one of them.
That's great.
It's gonna be awesome.
That's good.
It's gonna be stylish
and for an awesome
too.
Car.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous car. Great stuff, Sam. And you can follow Sam. You're gonna chronicle the journey on Twitter, right?
Yeah, my pinned tweet right now, PFF_Sam, has got all the information of where you can kind of go to find it. We're going to be throwing all kinds of stuff out on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. So we'll have all kinds of little bits and pieces from along the way.
That's a long time with your dad. You guys prepared for that?
Yeah, well, a couple of guys at PFF were like, "Oh, that's great. You get on with your dad, do you?" And I was like, "Well, we do now. We'll find out if we do in 2 weeks' time."
That's right.
Right. It's a long time with the Pops. Good job, buddy. Always great talking to you. Thanks for your time, and good luck with the trip and the cause.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks very much.
All right, that's Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus lead NFL analyst.
Zegura, can you go cross country with Pedro, not Pedro, in a car?
Oh yeah. No doubt. There would be set rules. The rules would be so set. There would be a butting of heads over, I'm sure, the air conditioner level.
Would you get out of California?
I mean,
would you do it for free or would you have to be incentivized?
I would do it for free for a charity, but I do think that there would be some rocky roads. There's no doubt. At some point he would become furious with me or something, or who knows.
There's no way in blue hell that I could do it with mine. Zero chance.
I think I could do it.
I think I could probably do about 3 hours.
You couldn't have done what your uncle did.
No.
Not a chance.
Drive from Montana to here with my dad.
And back.
In
a week.
No.
No thanks.
Nope. And I like my dad a lot. That's a lot of time. Yeah. That's cool, though, they're doing that. That car is going to feel tight, though.
Yeah.
That's a small car. I mean,
it's
that's a
beaut,
coupe, right?
No,
it's gorgeous,
but
I'm pretty sure it's a coupe.
Yes, it is a two-door.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have the hard top or they have the rag top.
I think you're going to want the hard top.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think that's going to be a loud ride.
Oh, baby.
1962, they didn't have exactly the sensors that we had, the type of seal that is required nowadays on a vehicle.
Correct.
What would be your guys' choice if you had to drive from Florida to California? What would be your vehicle of choice?
It would be mine if they somehow could make it there in one charge. That would be the best.
It would be the best because your little self.
Yeah, let drive itself.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would want to do it. Honestly, I'd want to do it in like a sweet Winnebago.
That's the play. I think that's
Absolutely.
The Sprinter, those souped up Sprinters.
Like a souped
up
up
Sprinter.
Absolutely.
I was trying to convince.
One of the guys in my neighborhood has one.
He's got one of those?
I'm jealous.
So it's so hard. Like, we've had such bad luck with air travel, and the pricing is outrageous. So I was, honestly contemplating with the wife. I said, maybe we ought to do that. Like, rent one of those Sprinters and drive out there.
Yeah.
And then you realize that really, until you get to, the westernmost part of South Dakota, there's not a damn thing to see, man. There's not a whole lot in Indiana and Illinois and Iowa.
Yeah, but if
and
you
most
got,
of South
got
Dakota,
a nice RV. Like we had an RV. My oldest niece out in Rhode Island, when she graduated high school, we got an RV. At the time, the great people at Avalon RV.
Oh, maybe they can help me out.
We took the RV to Rhode Island, went to the grad party. Everybody loaded up, and I drove it up into Maine. And then drove it back. We stopped at Niagara Falls. We stopped at a few other places. It was a lot of driving for the week. My brother-in-law was going to drive.
That is a lot of driving.
And then liked grape Gatorade and vodka and fell in love, and I was driving. So, the kids were all young. They were all in the back. And this is like a 30-foot RV. This is not –
That's your big boy.
For, the first 2 hours I was driving, I'm like, I'm going to kill us. I don't know if I'm prepared to this. Yeah. It was windy.
I couldn't do that. I mean, I could do that. I've driven semis, but I would not want to do that. I think the Sprinter's the play. And then you're staying at hotels along the way.
Yes.
But I think it's fun for about an hour, and then my kids go, Dad, this sucks. When are we there? And you go, well,
but
4 days. How about that, Bob?
Can you drive it somewhere? Can you drive it for the first couple days and then hop on a plane from there?
It'd be the other way. The way that you do it is the other way. You would do a round trip to Minneapolis, and then you would rent the Sprinter in Minneapolis or Denver.
There you go.
You go into Denver, and then you'd fly up. You drive up through Wyoming, Grand Teton, all that. Go that way, or you do the Minneapolis. But you wouldn't want to do the drive part in this part of the country. You'd want to do it on that end.
Yeah, where it's prettier. It's different too, though, on a trip that long now with technology. I mean, they'll have iPads, and you know what I mean. And back I remember when I was a kid, we did a California to Tucson.
Yeah.
And our AC went out, so we had to rent a car, so he was already unhappy.
Not pleased.
And but what you had as a kid for entertainment, I remember I got a My Prerogative, Bobby Brown, My Prerogative. That was the cassette that I got.
Sure.
That was my splurge that I got to get for the ride down. So I listened to that tape and wore the heck out of that. But
Wear that out. You're playing the license plate game.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That's what you're doing. I mean, that's the way it goes. Yeah, the kids
J and Q, very tough normally, but we're on a stretch right now in Ohio where all the new license plates are J's.
Yeah, there's
so
a lot.
J's
of them
are
out
everywhere.
there.
J and Q used to be what would get people.
Impossible.
Yeah, now they're.
We would
everywhere.
do the states. You know, can you get all 50 states on a road trip?
Yep.
Okay.
And you could usually get that by the time.
Little
you're
Mad Lib.
Mad
Do a
Libs,
bunch of
right.
Mad Libs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great compared to what they have now. I mean,
now they're playing Madden.
We hop in a Sprinter. The Xbox is coming. The Switch is coming. The iPads.
playing
you
Fortnite.
drive. They're in the back.
Yeah.
They're
Life's
telling
good.
people they're dog water.
They're telling and they're goaded.
And they're
that's what's
goated.
happening.
Yeah.
That's how that's going. All right, we got a couple things to get to. We got an interesting ranking here, quarterback and coach rankings, play caller rankings. We will get to this coming up. We'll tell you where our guys stand on that. Pretty high. Usually we're low on these lists. We're actually pretty high on this one. We'll get to that coming up next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Elk and Elk, serious lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk and Elk is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. We saw this. Who's this from? This is CBS Sports who did this?
Yes.
Top-ranked quarterback and coaches.
Cody Benjamin. In my mind, I was like, all right, maybe I'd like to be in the top 10. That was where I wanted to be.
Well, what I was already prepared for my argument to this, which was right now no one's ranking us high at anything.
Yep.
Because nobody just wants to. It just doesn't want to be anything positive.
Yep.
So it's always way lower than we need to be. But in this one, Cody actually puts us really, really high. 4th on the list. 3rd on the list.
Third.
Cody gets right into it.
Brady and Bowles 1 and 2.
Yep.
Wilson and Hackett is 2.
That's interesting. It's a lot of love for Hackett.
It's a lot of love for Hackett. It's a lot of love for Bowles too. To be fair.
Yeah. Well, I think it's Tom.
Sure. And then Deshaun and Stefanski are 3 on this list. Matt Ryan, Frank Reich come in at number 4. Cousins. Where in the hell are the Rams guys?
Are they not eligible?
No, because Stafford.
Oh, new.
This is
new.
Okay.
New
coach.
Okay.
New
All
coach.
right, because I was like, where's
quarterback
Aaron
duo.
Rodgers and Peter LaFleur?
Where's LaFleur?
Yes, this
Rodgers?
is new coach.
New
and
combinations.
QB
New combos.
New combinations.
But it's still there's still
okay.
some questionable.
What's questionable though? Where do you take umbrage?
I don't know what Hackett is.
I think they're saying it doesn't matter.
Don't forget, Denver got Hackett because they were hoping that he would lure Rodgers.
I think that there's a variation, certainly, and it's unfair to just say that, all of the guys from the LaFleur, Shanahan, Kubiak tree they're not – that'd be absurd to say that they're all the same, but they do have a lot of the same principles
Yes.
in them. So,
yes.
Nathaniel Hackett
smart.
being a failure, they're smart, correct. He's not going to bomb, not with Russell Wilson. He's smart enough to know how to take advantage of Russell Wilson. I don't sense that that's a bomb.
I don't think Pickett and Tomlin should be ahead of Trey Lance and Kyle. I don't think, or Tua and McDaniel for that matter. I don't see that.
Pickett and Tomlin at 8 is actually pretty stunning in retrospect.
Yeah. Very stunning.
Boy, some of these are just laughable.
Especially because
imagine?
Tomlin's not an offensive guy, and his offensive coordinators haven't exactly been home runs here recently.
No, they have not. By the way, Tua and McDaniel, we were mentioning them, down at number 6 there on the list. I'm going to read you a quote today. I want you to tell me who it comes from. And I quote, Tua actually has one of the prettiest balls I've ever caught in my life. Tua is a very accurate quarterback. I'm very confident. The sky is the limit for that guy. Heck of a talent. He has crazy arm strength and crazy arm talent.
Tyreek Hill?
That's right. I think he's talking about Pat Mahomes. He can't say that Tua has crazy arm strength after catching balls from Pat Mahomes. That's crazy.
I think, you got a lot of money guaranteed. You're living in Miami.
You're
making the best
you're
of your
feeling
situation.
generous.
You've already won a championship.
Yeah. You feel bad about what happened with the viral video. That's probably the way that goes, would be my guess.
Still, it's pretty nice. It's a prettiest balls. He does throw a nice ball. I've seen a tight spiral from Tua from time to time. Very accurate. Okay. Confident. Sky is the limit. Not sure. Crazy arm strength. Crazy arm talent. That I don't know. I don't think anybody thought that.
No, I don't think that that's what you would say at any point of his development.
Yeah, even at –
if anything, he was probably at his best thought of as like a Breeze type, a really accurate pinpoint. That was kind of the idea.
Sure.
Guys on time.
What does it say when Cody Benjamin ranks Justin Fields and Eberflus ahead of Carson Wentz and Ron Rivera?
That Carson Wentz sucks?
Yeah.
People know it.
I'll tell you this right now, though. I read a quote this morning from Justin Fields about, we're here to change the culture. He said culture 4 times in this sentence, and I just broke for him because that situation that he's in, to me, is as bad as any situation that any rookie quarterback's been in, other than the expansion situations like Couch and David Carr. Other than that, I don't know that there's a worse situation than one he's in.
It's awful.
There are no weapons. There's no protection. No. There's no offensive genius to take care of him. It's just fed to the wolves. They gave up all of that, and they're feeding him to the wolves. How can you not see that?
Yeah, why would you do that?
What would be the point?
I would trade him right now. Call up the
I would
Niners
too.
and try to trade him for Trey Lance right now, and the Niners can fix their thing and probably have to throw you a pick back or something.
Well, I would do that, or I would do the other thing, and I would yes, I would trade. I think that's the smart play. Trading before this is all exposed, because his stock is never. It's only going to go down from here. There's no way his play is going to make up for what's around him there.
He's in an almost impossible situation.
It is. It really is. It's absolutely brutal. It's God. I wanted
Free Justin Fields.
I wanted Kyle to draft him so badly. That
I
would
know
have
you
been the
did.
right spot for him. Absolutely. There's some, buddy. Davis Mills, Lovie Smith is a real combination. Marcus Mariota, Arthur Smith is a real combination. Geno Smith, Pete Carroll is a real situation. Those are real.
It should
NFL.
say Drew
I
Lock.
was going to say, I don't know why it doesn't say Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
Those are all real NFL quarterback situations.
Currently. They like Davis Mills in Houston. They're pleased with him. Mariota's hanging on until Desmond Ridder plays.
Or until they draft a quarterback this year. Those would be the two options on that one.
A little quick NFL news. Ian Rappaport, there's been a change in the Rooney Rule. The quarterback coach job is now subject to the Rooney Rule. That means it requires an outside interview with a diverse candidate. That's coming from the NFL owners' spring meetings that are taking place right now in Atlanta. Jonathan Jones says the NFL has passed a resolution that will prohibit teams from conducting in-person head coach interviews with candidates employed by a team until after the conclusion of wildcard weekend. This measure is meant to allow head coach candidates more time to prepare for an interview.
There you go. All right, the folks on Good Morning Football with a little bit of a debate on how things have shifted in the AFC North. We'll have that for you coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Now you're thinking about upgrading your enterprise operating systems, but you can't afford the downtime and disruption that goes with a major overhaul. Well, my friends at EOX Vantage can help. They're data scientists, also business operations experts. Your EOX Vantage team does not take a rip-and-replace approach to improving your operating systems. Instead, they help you build onto what you already have so you make the best use of your investments, both old and new. Fearing your employees will stress out over your new systems, EOX Vantage works to ensure your people can easily adopt their new workflows at a comfortable pace, and you can start out by making easily manageable changes and add on more when the time is right. Read how other business owners have overhauled their systems without overwhelming their people at EOXVantage.com. And now, from this morning on Good Morning Football, Rachel Bonetta, D'Angelo Hall, P. Schrags, and Adam Rank the debate if the hierarchy has shifted. Adam Rank.
Yeah, that was good. That was perfect. It makes sense.
Kick, save, and abuse.
No, that was a good job by catching. I just smiled. I was going to let you go with that. Because it makes sense that those four would
I don't
rank.
know Adam Rank. I don't know who he is.
Adam Rank,
He's
NFL
been on the
guy.
show.
He's been on our show. A lot of energy.
Was I on?
Works in
Yeah.
some wrestling references. You were
sure?
Yes. 100%.
No, I'm not sure.
Not anymore.
I'm not sure
Not
now.
anymore.
They debate if the hierarchy have shifted in the AFC North. Let's have a listen.
We've seen some
Yes, it
in the AFC North so far this offseason. Deshaun Watson sticks out, but each of these teams made some key additions, and this is the division that produced the AFC champion Bengals. But has the hierarchy shifted? Are the Bengals the clear-cut favorites in the AFC North? D'Angelo, what do you think?
Oh, hey, look, I love the Bengals. I love Joe Burrow. I even love Zach Taylor. But for me to sit here and say that the Bengals are the clear-cut favorite, I'm going to have to say no. I felt like the season they had last year, I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but it was more of a Cinderella type of a run. I think this team is still, still has some maturing to do. But when you talk about, to me, the way the Baltimore Ravens play football, when Lamar Jackson is on the football field, anything can happen. As he continues to develop, they continue to put playmakers around him, protect him with that offensive line. J.K. Dobbins, Peter mentioned him, didn't make his under 25 list, but he's a dog. And so they're continuing to put playmakers around Lamar Jackson. If this team is healthy, man, the way they play football, they're like the San Francisco 49ers. They tell you we're going to run the football, and they make you stop them. Just like in Baltimore Raven fashion, they had a great draft class. I love Kyle Hamilton. Can't wait to see kind of that versatile chess piece that he becomes in the new defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald's defense, right? I think that's one thing we got to remember. It's not going to be Wink Martindale's defense. It might be a hybrid of some of Wink Martindale's stuff, but Mike McDonald, who had a lot of success, at the University of Michigan, has been around John Harbaugh. I just absolutely love him. I think he'll bring a different dynamic to that Baltimore Ravens defense. They'll be healthy. Think about all the injuries they had in the secondary, on the defense. We talked about Lamar Jackson being hurt and just that offense struggling a little bit. And so, I think it's the Baltimore Ravens personally. But, I also think if the Browns are in striking distance, right, depending on what happens with their quarterback, if they can hang around, I do think they have the best quarterback in the division. And that's saying a lot because I just told you I love Joe Burrow. So it's going to be interesting. This is going to be one of those divisions to keep an eye on, though.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's really good. Amari Cooper's really good. Jadeveon Clowney is back. They added a lot in Cleveland, too. And yet, I have to give the respect to the defending division champions. The Bengals are the team to beat in the AFC North until they're beaten. And last year, they absolutely demolished the Ravens in 2 games, and one of them was with Lamar. They crushed the Ravens, and it was so bad that they were pouring it on late in that second time they played, and it looked like John Harbaugh had it in his feelings a little bit. Like, what are we doing here? The Bengals didn't lose anybody of significance that would make me think they can take a major step back. I love C.J. Uzomah and some of the defensive backs, but all things considered, this is a team that went into Tennessee and beat the #1 seed, went into Kansas City and beat the defending conference champions, and they went to the Super Bowl and were a drive short of winning that game. And they added to their roster. The one Achilles heel for the Bengals is that they can't block Joe Burrow, and that's true. He was sacked 70 times or something last year. So they went out and they were very deliberate. And they were like, we're going to get Alex Kappa, who was a talented free agent, young guy from Buccaneers, La'el Collins, Ted Karras from Patriots, and then they drafted Cordell Volson. Big Cordell Volson talk here on Good Morning Football. You're not getting that anywhere else. You get these guys, and you're like, we are going to build around Burrow. And then I end it with this, the same T-shirt I've held up 100 times on these home shows. This is the crew. This is the crew right here. That's Mixon, that's Chase, that's Boyd, that's Higgins, that's Burrow. They're all there. I gotta say, I love what the Ravens and Browns and even the Steelers have done to kind of tinker with their rosters. They're all gonna be competitors, but until someone dethrones the Bengals, let's give respect where respect is due. We have disrespected them too many times over the last decade. This Bengals team deserves our attention, and I'm gonna say they are the AFC North favorites going into this season.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Peter. And I think that it all comes down to Joe Burrow. And one of the things that we saw recently, he was doing an interview and talking about the Baltimore Ravens and how he's owned that team, how he loves to beat them, how the Ravens always were running their mouth against them, and he wanted to go out and really put it on them. And I love having a quarterback that's not afraid to say something that's not, what you typically hear from quarterbacks. You hear a lot of them be very deferential. Oh, they're good. They're no. Joe Burrow goes the other way. He's cutting wrestling promos. And I kind of dig that about him. And I think that this, as you said, this Bengals team got better. Like, remember last year? Like the big argument was like, do they take Jamar Chase? Do they take a lineman? Well, they went out there, they added a center, they added a right guard, and they added a tackle. Like, they rebuilt 3/5 of their offensive line. So if you give Joe Burrow more time, it's amazing to think that he could actually be better. Like, he could be an ascending player. So for me, I think it's cool, like, to talk about these other squads and what they've been able to do. But like you, Peter, until somebody goes out there and proves it against the Bengals, I'm going to keep picking them.
I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about the Bengals. The Super Bowl hangover curse is a very real thing. Whoever doesn't win the Super Bowl always has a little bit of a stutter step to their following season. I'm with D'Angelo. The Ravens last season, guys, I feel like every single time I looked at my phone, I had a notification saying another injury, another injury, another injury. Look at this. These are all guys that went down like hard this past season. Lamar Jackson, he missed 4 games. J.K. Dobbins, 17 games. Marcus Peters, 17 games. All of these guys were out for pretty much the entire season. They're not dealing with any of those. I was looking up these guys last night. They're all recovering. They've had their surgeries in the offseason. They're ready for next year. Not only that, but somebody from their division, the Bengals, went to the Super Bowl last year. That's a little bit of a chip on the shoulder, if I do say so. I think that the Ravens are going to be really exciting to watch. Also, not to mention, we've talked about this once on this show before, and it got us into a little bit of trouble because Lamar Jackson actually tweeted about it. Lamar Jackson's got a contract to sign. He's got some money to make. Is he going to ball out this year, Schrager? We got to be careful with what we say, Schrags. But what do you think? Could this contract maybe
Lamar's
be a little bit of a...
It said Lamar is a viewer of the show. He keeps his ears and eyes open. And when we had a very, Dante Hall said something very innocuous about his contract. Lamar was tweeting and saying, hey, don't worry about my contract. What you guys worry about you. Say this. Lamar Jackson more or less is betting on himself this year. He goes out there and they win the AFC North. It's going to be impossible not to pay him at least what Deshaun Watson's making already. And Deshaun Watson hasn't taken a snap for the Cleveland Browns yet.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time when it comes to that contract situation, right, as a cornerback, you aren't making that quarterback type of money. And so sometimes you're forced to play on 1-year deals, or you're forced to play, with no years left on your contract, right? And so Lamar Jackson has that mindset that he's had from the time he came up playing football. And that's, I always believe in myself. I never think I'm going to get hurt. I never think about any of those things. And so, I think Lamar's kind of putting the ball back in his court in this whole situation, right? How Kirk Cousins was able to get franchised and essentially, get franchised twice and essentially write his own destiny. And so, I kind of love the Lamar Jackson approach of just taking your time, understanding that, that money's not going anywhere. And as all of these other quarterbacks continue to, to get signed up, the price tag just continues to goes up and up and up. Because what dominant player doesn't feel like they're going to continue to be dominant and bet on themselves? And so I actually don't mind it. If I'm Lamar, I possibly would go ahead and take the 45 a year and go ahead and lock it up. Yeah. But, I ain't mad at him either, I ain't mad at him at all.
But it's kind of on brand for him, like his journey.
Back in 30.
Stand out at Louisville. It's not like he went to an SEC school. He was somebody who was drafted at the very end of the first round. He has been a player that people have suggested changed position. And every time he continues to bet and he continues to better himself and continues to be one of the top players in the NFL. So I'm not questioning him. What he's done to get to this point is proven to be correct. So I will trust him and I will trust his process. And I know it's going to be very lucrative for him.
A lot of good stuff from the fellows and Miss Bonetta on that one. So much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. I tell you, as good as the first two rounds of the NBA playoffs have been, these have sucked.
Listen, I was happy for the voice. 18-1 at one point. That game, I didn't even have to finish it. I turned it off. I was like, this game is unwatchable in the best way.
The first two rounds, everything was great.
Yeah,
all
not
the
anymore.
games are great. They've all been bad.
Yeah.
They've all been bad.
I think
So
a
hopefully the
Warriors
last three will be
Celtics
good.
finals is the best possible outcome.
I agree with you. I think that's your best hope for good basketball. I just don't think Miami has the firepower
agreed
to hang. So that's probably your best shot. Enjoy your night, fellas.
Yeah, and tomorrow, listen, big day. First Friday.
First Friday?
First OTA, media availability, coach, players, the whole deal. So
we're on the cusp of it all, aren't we?
Get ready.
The next level's coming up next. Thanks for listening. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.